Yeah, so I'm making this log just for some of my friends who have been requesting me to log it l- to explain what's going on with my trips, like why I always ended up doing stupid things and face all dramatic. I always come back home with the dramatic stories. So how does it happen? Why does it happen to me? Honestly, I don't know why it happens to me. But after a few of you guys keep asking me, I started realizing that initial days when I plan to travel, I try to plan it at least few things like. But then my I'm so lazy person and I cannot plan it properly. Even though if I have a proper plan, I always miss buses or miss my flight or take something else, ended up in somewhere else. Some or other things happens. Either the flight get cancelled or the place where I visited. Yeah, some or other things happens. So after a certain period, I decided that to not to plan my trip at all. Just backpack and plan a destination because I need to book a ticket. So book a ticket, only the ticket leaving from a town and coming back to the same town. So from a city A to city B and then to city A. And the window of my traveling period will be little longer and I will not know what I'm going to do on those. Say for example, I take 1 month trip. I may do some little bit of research like which country, like what kind of visa needs and blah, so and so. But I never do a deep research on where I'm going, what are the problems they have, like none of this, where I'm going to stay, booking hotels. No, I never book hotels. So basically what I do is like my plan is to not to have a plan. Rule number one. And then not to book hotels because I don't know if I'll be going to stay in that city for a while, or maybe if I find someone interesting, I'll just follow them. If not, I may move to a different city, or yeah, anything can happen. So that's the core idea behind my trip. Like, I don't want to get stressed by having time bounded trips, like planning something like, oh, like 2 days I have to cover this place and 2 days in another place visits museums, do so and so things. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to restrict into something which doesn't fit, or maybe I find something interesting to during my trip. So this is basically my theory, or yeah, you can call it a theory behind my travel trips. That's why not all my travel is more exciting because it's too much adrenaline kicking. I'm always surprised what's going to happen, excited to know what is my next move, whom I'm going to meet, because I simply trust strangers. And one more thing I follow is like, good, if I visit a town, like if it is a touristic place, if there is more people and if it is safe, like if everyone says it's safe, I try to get away from that town where it is more crowded and travel far from the city to some village or like some rural part. Yeah, because I don't like to be in a place where they treat me as a tourist. One among you, you go bumped into another tourist all the time, not a local person, right? So I don't spend much time in the city. So I always try to escape from the city and go travel as far as I could outside the city. So what I think is when you move out from the city, you actually meet the local people and they are so welcome. Uh, they are open to share their culture, they explain everything, they try to show their locality and they explain what food I should try and it's not expensive as well. But the hard part is it's difficult to reach there. You don't know whether you can communicate to those people, what language they speak, because most of them, when you move out from the city, the people speak even some places they don't even speak the national language. They have a rural language and they speak only the rural language, and it's hard even with the translator. Translator work most of the time, but even in some places you will not have an internet and people they doesn't know to type and you cannot use voice recognition without internet, so you'll be stuck in a place where you have to communicate only. Yeah, you have to communicate and you don't know the language and it's just the feeling between two person, like, yeah, there are the basic things you can always communicate, like I want food and I want water. These things you can communicate, but what I realize in time is that it's easy to come. You don't need a language to communicate to a person. Like one can understand. Like if someone is in need, one can understand. It's good to know. So I used to pick few words. Like not, I'm not good at that, but still, I try to catch few words. I know what like for the about the weather or food or to get the direction. But still, it is like you will be able to communicate. Sign languages help everywhere. People understand. Think about this. You can communicate with a dog or a cat. Why can't you communicate with a human? Right? You should be.